this exercise, but everyone done? I believe so. This is the cable tester. Okay, it has two parts, sender and receiver. It has two types of ports, RJ45, and RJ11. Why we use RJ11? Phone. For phones, right? For phones we use RJ11. These days we have VoIP or internet phones. Internet phones use RJ45, but those old times phones you must have seen wall outlets in some homes. So those are RJ11 ports. So it has both types of ports. One side is RJ45, other side is RJ11, and it is RJ45 and RJ11. So when you have cable in with you, you connect the cable with both the ends, and then you turn on the switch. The moment you turn on the switch, you can see a light or LED is traveling from top to bottom and bottom to top. Okay, it is going to, huh?
The light means the cable works?
Yeah, if the light is it is green and green lights are traveling from top to bottom, then that means the cable is working fine. Okay.
So what color would it be if it didn't work? No light?
Red color or orange color. Right.
Well, would there ever be no lights?
No. It will give you orange or red color light, which is not working. So that's how it is. Just pass it. Now everyone please check their PCs in front of you. If you are not already started, you don't need to log into your Blackboard account. Just log into the PC in front of you and then see if you have packet tracer installed. And I'm pretty sure that I believe packet tracer is installed on these machines. Cisco packet tracer. Please start, log into your PCs wherever you are sitting. There is a PC in front of you, and everyone is doing this exercise. If you are not interested, you may leave. You may leave the class now. I don't mind.
What exercise are we doing?
I'm telling you, just log in.
I am.
And check if the packet tracer is installed.
Cisco packet tracer.
Open the packet tracer or launch the packet tracer. Put your screen.
Okay.
Are you working on your laptop? Okay, so you have packet tracer, you already created it. That's good. You can help others. Help others, okay? You are the in charge of the back bench.
You still need to log into our account, right?
Yes, you don't need to. Yes, either you log into your account or you log into the student, but it's PC. You need to log into this PC.
No, I mean the packet tracer.
Packet tracer?
When you open it up on the computer, it says
I didn't say log.
we had to create one when we first started.
You need to say, would you like to run multi-user? Say no. If it is asking, would you like to run multi-user? Say no. It says Windows Firewalls has blocked some feature of packet tracer. Fine, so you cancel. Okay, it is asking you to log. You must have created your Cisco account.
Yes, sir.
So use that Cisco account here. Can't help it with the password. Setup or reset password. There is an option for setup or reset password. So once you log in, you can come back to your Cisco packet tracer. And we are going to create the same network what we have seen in the video. This video.
Cisco Packet Tracer, we first need a
Everybody logged in? Everybody can see this screen? Okay. If you are not able to log in, then you can watch your neighbors, your others' computer. No, behind you. Rhythm. Okay, Rhythm, you just take care of all the ones sitting at the back bench. Alright, so
router. So here in network devices and routers,
network devices and routers. Right, so you are going to pick one router and place it here. This is the route. Click on the first box here. Just look at my screen carefully. Click the first box, network devices. Then click on the route. Pick the router. Drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop.
Oh, so why are we using that router when there's other options?
Okay, you can try that other options. You have multiple routers here, 1, 2, 3, 4 different routers. So it's up to you which router you would like to pick. Okay, let's try again. So you have different routers here, numbers. See, every router has a number. So it depends on what type of router you are using in your network. So based on that, you are going to pick one router from here. Are you getting my point? There may be different vendors, like some routers are from Cisco, some are from Broadcom, some are from Juniper. So depending on what type of router you are using, you can pick your router from this list. There's a long list of routers here. So let's say which router in the video.
let's add this PT router to the network.
PT router. So do you see PT router? My room is locked and I cannot get my glasses, so I cannot read what is PT router here. So you can pick any router. Yeah, I think first one is the PT router. Here it is. PT, what is the number? 8200. So PT8200 is the code of the router. PT8200, that is the code of this router. Where is that network tester? Can you please pass it back to me? Thank you. Give it. Okay, once you have the router, what is the next step?
Next, we need a couple of switches. So let's switch over to the switches.
So let's click on the switches. The next box here, networking devices here at the bottom. The next box is switches. Now
Group, and we're using this 2960 switch. So
2960. So if we have 2960, we can use. Otherwise, we can pick any other. So we have 2960 here. So let's get 2 of these. Now, if you just keep your mouse pointer for a while on your device, you can see a drop down thing like this. It tells you everything about your device. everything you can see about the device. It tells you everything about the device. Now, if you notice, there is something called VLAN. Yep. So it's all one. It's all one. That's the default VLAN of every switch. We can create multiple virtual LANs. So if you remember in the room you went there, you have multiple sections of ports. Multiple ports are there. So by default, everything is VLAN 1. By default, everything is VLAN 1. But I can create multiple VLANs out of these ports. I can create VLAN 90, any number you can pick. It is not, there is no rule for that. VLAN 20, 25. So we can add some ports in this VLAN, some ports in this VLAN. What is the purpose here? Purpose is to create separate networks in the same switch. So one device connected to one VLAN cannot communicate to other VLAN without a router in between. You need a router in between to connect or communicate the two VLANs. So VLANs are basically used for security purpose. And don't compare VLANs with VPNs. VPNs are completely different than VLANs. VLANs are like, suppose this switch is used by two different businesses in your organization. Your organization has multiple businesses and the same switch is used by two different businesses. So I can create two different VLANs so that there won't be any cross communication possible between the two different businesses in the network. You can keep their network completely separate and won't be any possible communication. What is the next step here in this?
Click here, grab a switch, and let's put one more over here. And next we need two PCs. So we're going to the end devices category.
So now we are going to use PCs. So let's put click on end devices in the category section. And then from the devices, you can select what PCs you are looking for. Like you may pick PC or you may pick laptop. So PC and PC. You can move your switches. Now what is the next step? Connection. So this is your connection category, and from the connection category you are using cables. So you click and then you see which connection, which port you would like to use. It is fast Ethernet, and then on this you would like to use fast Ethernet 01. What is 01 stands for? 0. So you notice that 0 is common among all. 0 is common among all. So 0 is basically representing your switch and 1 is so fast Ethernet 01. So sometimes your switches has multiple I would say multiple segments, and every segment can have its own number. So 0 is because all ports are in one segment only. That's why it is 01. So connect to 01. Will I connect to something else?
You can speed it up.
What?
You can speed it up down at the bottom left, those two arrows
Okay.
on top of the It's just taking time. You can speed it up.
I'm just trying everyone so that everyone can come along with it. Fast Ethernet, and then you can go to 01. Those two are separate switches, so you can keep connecting. So I'm just giving you an idea like how you can start using your packet tracer application. Install this application on your PCs, on your laptops, and start using it. Okay, all the instructions are provided in the Blackboard. Now next step is What is the next step?
Grab one PC, place it here, and a second PC over here. Remember, you're going to be building out this network and adding a lot of other devices to it later, so it's important to begin with the right structure from the beginning. We've got the router up here at the top, and the other devices are arranged kind of in a pyramid shape with the switches on the second layer and PCs at the bottom. Now we're ready to make some connections, so let's jump over to the connections category. We want to start with this copper straight through cable, and it's important to make sure you use the correct interfaces for each device. So choosing the copper straight through cable, let's start with the first workstation, PC0. We're connecting to fast Ethernet 0, and then going to the switch, and we want the first fast Ethernet option up here. Fast Ethernet for just a minute, so the row 0, second fast Ethernet interface here, so that's fast Ethernet 02. Connect to the
So now we are going to connect our switches and routers. Now you can see both the arrows are green, means the connection is established between the PC and the switch. Now again you pick the cable and then click on your switch, then select your second port. Now you notice that first port is gone. There is no 01 visible. So connect to 2 and then connect to your router, which is having only gigabit. We need a router which has a Ethernet port, but just for the sake of connections. And then do the same with the other switch, and then connect it to the. Now you need another type of router which has a Ethernet port. Maybe you need to go back to your switches and look for a different router. It has gigabit. So you can keep putting your switch routers and keep looking at what type of ports the switch or the router has. All gigabit. All gigabit. Now this one has fast Ethernet, so we can pick this one instead of this one. Move it here. So this one is I can't read the name, 4G 10X something. Fast Ethernet. Fast. Okay, so this way you can create your network.
router, and on the router we're starting with fast Ethernet 00, then second switch we need the fast Ethernet 02 interface going to the router, and the second fast Ethernet interface, fast Ethernet 10. If they're not already green triangles, wait for just a minute so the orange dots will turn to green triangles, and you can reposition these devices so you have straight lines and looks nice and neat. Now we're ready to make some configuration changes. Let's click on router 0 up here.
So let's click on the router and you can see this interface. Alright, what is now next step is you go
Top,
to the
we want the config tab. Now we're going to be making changes in the GUI, the graphical user interface.
So you are going to config tab and you can see at the bottom you will see the CLI. If you are comfortable with CLI, you can go to the CLI and then you can start typing your commands, and with the help of commands you can do everything. Or if you are not comfortable with commands, then you can stay with the config and you can see the commands at the bottom. So that's another way of learning commands. You do certain operation here, right? You do some step here and then you notice what what command it is using in response to that operation.
Interface, but keep an eye on the equivalent iOS commands pane down here at the bottom so you can start to get familiar with some of the Cisco commands that we'll be using in later projects. We first need to make some configuration changes to Fast Ethernet 0.
So select your Fast Ethernet 0 and notice the command here. How the things have changed in the bottom side or bottom section of your window. And if you go to the CLI, you can see the same thing in a bigger screen. Okay? You can try the commands also later. Once you learn the commands, you can try the commands instead of doing it with the help of GUI.
Zero, remember this is the connection on the router that goes towards this switch 0 and then onto PC 0. Remember to keep an eye on the commands down here at the bottom. We need a static IPv4 address. We're using 192.168.0.1 and then tab to the subnet mask field. Packet tracer guesses correctly. This is a Class C IP address. So we need a Class C subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Notice the commands down here. You can see where we've configured the IP address and the subnet mask. Now we're ready to turn the port on. So just check the on box here next to port status, and notice the state has been changed down here in the command line. So change state to up. Let's do the same thing with Fast Ethernet 1.0. We need an IP address, and this time we're using a Class B IP address, so 172.16.0.1. Tab to the subnet mask field, and packet tracer correctly guesses it's a Class B subnet mask 255.255.0.0, which could also be written as a /16 IP address. Notice the commands down here. We went into the interface configuration mode and we configured the IP address and the subnet mask. We're now ready to turn this port on, and we're finished with the router's configuration. So you can wait just a minute until this last orange dot turns to a green triangle, or you can go ahead with PC 0. Just make sure that this is a green triangle before you continue with PC 1. Clicking PC 0, let's make some configuration changes here. We're going to the desktop tab, the IP configuration tool. We want a static IP address, and then for the IP address, we want 192.168.0.100. Tab to the subnet mask field, and it is a Class C subnet mask 255.255.255.0. For this project, we also need a default gateway address. So next to default gateway, let's give it the IP address of this interface on the
In
router.
order to create a similar network, we need a similar router, and I don't know if you can find a similar router. This router doesn't give us the option to set the IP address on Fast Ethernet ports. It says it's on. Yeah. Do we have PD router?
Yeah.
Where? Okay, this one. Next. This or this one? Okay, guys. So we find the PD router there. Can you see it? From at the end, or we scroll all the way to the end, then it is 6 from the end. It's PD router. Thanks. And then connect it to your switches. And now when you see this config and you see Internet 0, now you can set the IP configuration to this router. So try this, keep doing. Let me play the video again.
Router, which is 192.168.0.1.
This is the desktop.
We're now ready to turn this port on, and the address, so 172.168.0.1.
So this is the first IP address you are setting with your
Tab to the
router.
subnet mask support status, and notice the state has been changed.
The first IP address we are setting is 192.168. 192.168.0.1. 192.168.0.1. 192.168.0.1 with the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Right? And you can turn the port status on, and now you can also observe the commands executed in the bottom. Commands executed at the bottom part of it, or you can check the same commands on the CLI section or CLI tab also. Okay, so this is one thing of what you did for fast Ethernet 00 port. You are doing the same with your 10 port. On the 10 port, we are setting IP
Down here in the
address
command line, so
from
change state to
B class.
up. Let's do the same thing with fast Ethernet 10. We need an IP address, and this time we're using a class B IP address, so 172.16.0.1. Tab to the sub.
Okay, now we are going to set this B class IP address 172.168.0.1. 172.16, not 16. 172.16.0. Why it was invalid IP address? 168 is not the private IP address, right? It's not a private IP address range. So it is B class 255.255.0.0, and then turn the interface. Notice the commands. Notice the commands. Now, if I want to use the command, then what should be my command to turn on the interface? What should be my command to turn on the interface? No shut. Okay, and I can see that my interface is on. So you can use commands and do whatever you want to, but also learn commands. And you can also take help from Google. You just say, I want to do this. What is the command for this? AI is going to help you a lot in this. Next is
Subnet mask field, and Packet Tracer correctly guesses it's a Class B subnet mask 255.255.0.0, which could also be written as a /16 IP address. Notice the commands down here. We went into the interface configuration mode and we configured the IP address and the subnet mask. We're now ready to turn this port on, and we're finished with the router's configuration. So you can wait just a minute until this last orange dot turns to a green triangle, or you can go ahead with PC0. Just make sure that this is a green triangle before you continue with PC1. Clicking PC0, let's make some configuration changes here. We're going to the Desktop tab, the IP configuration tool.
right. So now, Mr. Syed, you are
Yes.
not doing it?
I saw you put the things on the dashboard.
I don't get it. What thing I need to put on the dashboard?
The same way how you put it on the show on the presentation board.
Okay, your choice. Alright, so now we are on the PC. Go to the desktop and go to the IP configuration, and there you're going to set the IP address manually.
We want a static IP address, and then for the IP address, we want 192.168.0.100, tab to the subnet mask feed.
Right? So just set the IP address 168.0.100, and it will automatically guess the IP address. Now it is also asking you to do something more.
Field, and it is a Class C
Gateway.
subnet mask 255.255.255.0. For this project, we also need a default gateway address. So next to default gateway, let's give it the IP address of this interface on the router, which is 192.168.0.1.
Okay, if I do not set this IP address or this gateway IP address, let's say I did not set any gateway IP address, alright, just leave it blank or leave it like that. go to the second PC and go to the desktop IP configuration and put the IP address 172.16.0.100. And here also I did not put any gateway IP address and save this. Now if I want to ping, from one PC to other PC. Right? So this is my terminal. I say ping 172.168.0.100. Sorry, 16, not 16. Not 100. So I'll not get any response because there is no communication. What happens here? What is happening here? I'm at this PC. I'm trying to ping this PC. So my channel is this.
How do you go there, man?
Right? So my signals are going here. My signals are going up to here, but cannot pass from here to anywhere else because it doesn't have any gateway provided. Right? It doesn't have any gateway provided, so it won't give you anything. So let's.
Now when you make, you can see here the ping process starts the next ping request. It creates an ICMP. The OSI has multiple, you might need to resize here. So the first one failed. Could we send a ping from PC1 through the switches and the router 72.16.0.1? Again, we want to close the IP configuration tool and jump over to the command prompt.
Okay, it is not the terminal. I went to the terminal. It's command. Go back to let's close the terminal because terminal does not work here. It is ping 192. Let's instead of ping, if I do, let's try this. Tracer. Is this connected? 192.168.0.1. So it says trace complete because it is able to trace that. But if I say 172.16.0.100 or let's say even 1, so it could not reach to that port because it doesn't have the path available for that IP address. Okay. So what we are missing here, we are missing the gateway of this particular PC. So let's put the gateway for this PC, which is 192.168.0.1. Only on this PC we put the gateway, not on the other PC. And let's try again. So it is reaching to that port. But can I reach to my 100? Can I reach to 100? So it cannot reach to 100, though it can reach to 1. See, it is able to reach 1, it is able to find out where is 172.16.0.1 is, but it is not able to reach to 100 because it doesn't know where the 100 is. Or your 100 does not know where my gateway is. So 100 has no link with the router. So let's establish the link of this device also with its router. In the IP configuration, we put the gateway. So you can, actually what I'm trying to show you here is you can test your scenario, like if I have this information missing in my PC, then what will be the issue or what kind of problem I may have. So I set the gateway on this device as well. So if I try to ping on this device or tracer 200, I can easily reach to that device. I can easily reach to that particular PC where I was not able to reach here or here. I wasn't able to reach here, but here it reaches immediately. Okay, so what the objective here now? More you can watch the video and then do the exercise. While watching this video, you keep doing this exercise so that you will get an idea what it is doing, and then you drive your own, do your own experiments, create your own type of network, and then do. See, you are not spoiling anything here. You don't need any physical device here. You are not messing up with anyone's network here. Whatever you are doing is you are creating yourself and you are practicing. So it's all up to you. How would you like to practice? All right, that's all for today. And